The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
All right, welcome to the Saturday Brunch edition of No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We're presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Gozilla Media. My name's Ryan McCarthy. I'm one of the co-hosts. To my right is a man, and the man who hates Angel Hernandez as much as you do if you're a baseball fan, Dustin Henry. Dustin, how are we doing today?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself? And Angel, I'm going to ask this every day. How do you still have a job? Stop making the game about yourself. But other than that, I'm in a great mood this morning. We've got a lot to discuss on today's show, as well as one of my favorite things I think that we've done. So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it very much. And how are you today, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. We had our technical difficulties on Tuesday. We fought through it. I rebooted everything. I needed to reboot. Hopefully everything's coming in clear. You gave me the A-OK before we were in the green room, so we're good to go. But we have some special guests we want to bring in. But before we do that, just got to mention about our social media channels right down here below. If you're watching on the old YouTubes or Facebook or Twitters, it's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. It's at NoCredsREQ. YouTube.com/@NoCredsREQ. Facebook.com/NoCredsREQ. If you're watching on the replay on Rumble, thanks for stopping by. Just want to remind you to please like, comment, share, and subscribe to all of our platforms on social media. And on the podcast side, subscribe to the podcast on whichever podcast you go to, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Good Pods, iHeart, TuneIn, whatever podcast platform you use, please subscribe. Subscribe to the show, rate and review, leave us a 5-star rating. That'll be really helpful. Also, if you're on a platform where you can review the show, we'd also appreciate if you could review. And since we're a live show right now, got some comments coming in already. We want you to engage with the show. And I know, Dustin, you've been waiting a couple days to hear that magical sound, reminding the people out there to engage with us.
Oh, yeah. Sounds my childhood. Lay it on me.
All right, folks. So we're going to bring in one of our special guests today. Our other guest, we don't know where he is currently, but we'll when he gets here, get here. But I'm going to bring in one of my good buddies. He is one of the co-hosts of the Levack and Goz show, which you can hear 3 to 6 p.m. weekdays. It's the #1 sports talk show in the area for local sports. You can also find him at as president of the Albany Firebirds football club, coming soon to an arena near you. Actually, it's 2 weeks from now.
Wow!
Today it's the kickoff. So we're gonna bring in my good buddy, Jeff Levack. Levack, how we do? Look, he's up in the gear. So am I.
Oh man,
I like it. Yeah, I'm good. I wonder which one of the co-hosts I am from Levack and Goz. That's all. I don't know. I don't know. He's been texting me this morning. Like, he's been texting me bathroom updates from his toddler. So like, he's awake. He's aware of the world. He just maybe that bathroom situation went horribly wrong for him.
Maybe he had like a blowout or something. And he's got on cleanup duty.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, we got a blowout.
I feel like normally it would be rude to read a text that isn't to everyone, but since he's supposed to be here, I feel like it's only right. In quotes, wait until you see this poop. It's gonna be huge. That's his son Rex yelling at him in the bathroom. And that was the last I heard from Goz. So, it might literally be a poop at the fan situation. We could be, there could be some trouble happening at Casa de Goz.
Hey, raising toddlers. That's all I could say. So let's talk some Albany Firebirds, my friend. You know, we got 2 weeks to kick off, as I mentioned before we brought you on. How are things at the Firebirds offices? How are things around the league in terms of vibes? What's the vibe in the office? How's the vibe around the league? I know you're involved with the team, being their team president, being involved in league meetings and so forth. How are things with the Firebirds and how are things with the league? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Is it a nervous excitement?
Yes, all of them, all the
Yes.
nerves, the excitements, the everything. Yeah, it's it's one of those deals where you can't wait for it to get here because it's going to be so special, and you also wish you had 3 more weeks to do a couple different things, a couple different ways. But no, it's we're really, it's really awesome this time around because Ryan, and you've been at all the games every time I've seen you. A lot of this stuff was, year one for us was 21, and it was, we had Ron, we had Mike as owners, and Tradico and Corda, and we did what we could, and we won a championship. And then 22, it was Mike, and we won a championship, and it was a lot of hard work behind the scenes, but it was Mike. Now I've got Mike, I've got Andy Gelcher from Mohawk Chevrolet, I've got Richie Sesnet from Constantine Farms. 3 local owners, no outsiders, man. No former NFL stars allowed, and it's been great. And I've always been a huge Damon Ware fan, and Damon was the offensive coordinator and the assistant head coach. Now he's the head coach, and he's getting the opportunity he deserves. And you can just kind of see just the difference between him and anyone else. The players love him. He is so easy to work with. He'll more than happy to tell you if he's unhappy, but he does it in a constructive way, and he gets a lot of things done. So we have a joking agreement that like he's always been the workforce, like the workhorse, like he's always been that guy, and nobody gave him crap because he was behind the scenes. So from here on out, he's going to continue to do all the work. I'm going to give him all the work, and then I'll take blame when things go wrong, and he finally gets credit when they go right. That's our arrangement. I'm more than happy to take a beating if I'm allowed to be lazy too.
Now, one of the things I've noticed with the Firebirds is that the Firebirds have brought back some very familiar faces, especially to Albany, the previous team, the Empire. You bring back Darius Prince, you bring back Trayvon Shorts. You had a couple of guys who played for the Empire, Brandon Cisse, Dwayne Hollis. Add him to the coaching staff.
Yep.
How big of an impact is this making with those who are kind of new to the league, new to arena football, especially in training camp? Because training camp is going on right now as we speak.
Yeah, they're literally working out like right now. Actually, they might be wrapping right now. They start pretty early in the day, and then they have lunch meetings. To be honest with you, this is the first year where I haven't been to practice very much. I've been in the office doing what I need to do, or trying to do more of the media stuff, get the word out. But I talk to Damon every day, and I talk to Dwayne Hollis every day, and I knew that Cisse wanted to be a coach. We had a chance to talk a couple years back, and Brandon Cisse is one of those huge human beings who does his talking with his actions, right? And then all of a sudden, one day I go, dude, you ever want to be a coach? And it was one of those ones where it's like, what's up, Jeff? How you doing? What up, blah, blah, blah. It's cool to see you. Yep. No, yep. Hey, you ever want to be a coach? I would love to be a coach one day. I have some great ideas about how to get pressure on the quarterback. And I'm just sitting there going, wow. Like I didn't know, all of that was in there. I always knew he had a passion for the game, but I didn't know he had a passion for the X's and O's of the game. And Hollis has always been a coach. Ever since Hollis got here, the longer, if you watched, the longer a guy was on the secondary with Hollis, the better he got. There was a point where Hollis was here as a member of the secondary where we were in 22, where we were constantly flipping out and bringing in different players. And Hollis came to everybody and went, listen, I've almost got a couple of these guys. Like I don't need them to be the greatest corners in the world. I need them to know what we're doing. And and we stopped moving them. And by the time we got to the championship game, it was probably the best defensive performance we've ever seen in the defensive game. So he's always been a coach. Cisse's always had a passion for it. And then how and then of course if you got Damon Ware, you've got the professor. You got a guy who's willing to teach anybody anything. So love the staff so far. Love what they're doing.
Yeah, and I think that's going to definitely help down the road. I know you've talked on the show. Of course, I listen every day. If you're familiar with the show, yeah, this is the Cardinal,
Sorry.
the Cardinal of Capital Region Sports, as guys calls me.
Well, I know you're affiliated with
why Cardinal?
in some way, shape, or form, but I never knew what. So I was just like, I just kept promoting you, and then Cardinal is stuck. So you were gonna be the Pope, but you like Cardinal, so here you are.
I don't have the hats. I don't have
yeah,
the hats
you're a man of
necessary to be a
many
Pope.
nicknames, Ryan. Many nicknames
True.
now.
It's true. I've myriad nicknames that Dustin's given to me on the show.
Encyclopedia Rytanica, Rystradamus.
Yep.
And of course, Saki Master.
Ooh, yeah.
Wait, there was supposed to be Saki. I was gonna yell at you guys for the brunch video to start this thing. I'm a fat guy, and you got me here watching all this like sizzling bacon and stuff.
I always get hungry before the show. I always do.
I always eat before the show. That's why I eat before the show, because I see the bacon and I'm like, I want more. I just want more.
I do too, but I still get hungry. So
I get it. I get it.
I just bought this new Bloody Mary mix from the Pepper Palace up in Lake George. I was like watching that thing. I'm like, do I have time to run out and throw a little vodka and ice together? Like, what do I got to do here? Is it time?
Next commercial break, we could do that.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. I'll get an espresso martini. You guys get the Bloody Marys, mimosas. We're good to go.
I don't know. Come up with a breakfast old fashioned, but just sitting back and listening, it sounds like you've got the right people in place with this particular ownership group and staff. It looks like everybody's kind of doing what their passion is, and then you're just kind of, like you said, doing what you have to do. And for me, as a kid, the Firebirds, that's one of the things that I remember, going to games with my dad and stuff. So I think having the Firebirds name as well is a big deal. And a lot of people in the area, I mean, I will say I'm very excited about it, but like, what's the temperature out there? Because I know people had love for the Empire, but I think the Firebirds name is, it's bringing back the memories that everybody remembers.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And it's funny because it's one of those ones where, you guys know, I'm the first to, pat myself on the back and jokingly take credit when I get something right. Back in, a couple times, but it was way back in 21. We actually had the option to go either way because Mike Corda picked up the intellectual properties for both teams. He still has the intellectual property for a couple other teams. And I'm in the room and I'm like, 2019 just happened. The Empire just won a title. They've been selling great tickets. I think we keep the momentum going. You stay with the Empire. Well, now here we are, 2024. Everything that's happened has happened. And we're the Firebirds, and it has been a completely different reaction. A lot of the nostalgia that you were just talking about, but not just like with the fans. Like that, of course, is the number one thing. As long as the fans are happy, almost everything else doesn't matter. But like local officials, local business owners, some of the players, some of the players are like, listen, when I was a kid, I remember the Firebirds. I mean, we got Patton back, so we got another guy who his dad was a Firebird. So.
Yep, David Patton.
So it's been pretty amazing, and it's one of those ones where everything happens for a reason, everything goes the way it goes. But I wish when I remember those early meetings about what do we want to do, I wish I was the voice of the room going, Firebirds would be good, because clearly everybody wanted.
I do have one very important question for you, Levack, and this may involve a little bit more cost. Maybe
is this math?
Well, no, not math. It's not math. Okay. But we had to talk to your good buddies at Elevation 10K about this. Maybe get another clothing company involved named Zubaz. Are we going to see the Zubaz uniforms in the throwback anytime soon? I get those vibes with the old Phoenix helmet, the white helmet with the Phoenix wings on the side. Oh, memories.
I will tell you that when our helmets are finally done the way they're going to be done, they'll blow your mind. They're going to be amazing. They're going to bring, for people who didn't love the uniform, you're going to love it when you see it with the helmet. And you're going to love when you see it on guys it fits on. Like, let's be honest. Like the AFL is doing a stupendous job. but they're relaunching a league, and it's a daunting task. Like if you think about what the AFL is doing right now, what Commissioner Hutton and Terrell Gaines are doing, you're launching an iconic brand, and you're trying to put your stamp on it. So like you can't, if you screw up, everyone's going to go, no, that's not what the AFL is. And if you don't take it to the next level, everybody's going to be like, oh yeah, you just grabbed their old playbook and hit it. Good for you. So there are things they're doing that I can't wait to see what they do when their feet are under them. But like when they put that picture out of the guy in our uniform, and I'm just like, you couldn't get a guy with some biceps? Like you couldn't get, like Darius said to us, Darius was throwing it on for you. Darius been hitting the gym 4 hours a day.
Put Cisse in that uniform, man. That guy is like Thanos.
Just you should see the guys that we got again. Trayvon Shorts, again, filthy Celtics fan, but a great player and good person. That dude is cut out of stone this year. Haig cut out of stone. Jake Medlock, all these guys. I was in the welcome dinner, so I got 35 players in this room, and like Coach Gabe, by the way, is like powerhouse athletics. So even my coaching staff could kick most people's butts, but like I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't see. Like fat to trim. Like I don't see like how you're gonna make 11 cuts. Like God bless Damon Ware and the crew, because it's not gonna be easy. Like there's some real talent in the Capital Region right now out of those 35 guys, and we got to come down to 24. So so like any of them in those uniforms would look better. But again, the steps these guys are taking, and that they're trying to just hit the ground running. So like there's little things that like obviously you would do different if it was up to you, but there's big things that, I mean, the NFL Network being involved. Come on, I can sit here.
Huge. That's huge.
I can nitpick over a way a uniform was unveiled, or I can just get down and thank everything the Cardinal himself for the fact that we're going to be on NFL Network right after the draft. So they're doing an amazing job.
So needless to say, we're not going to see any Nigel Gruffs on this team from the replacements. We're not going to see guys like him. The Wardy guys.
Well, who our kicker is, Mark Orozco. So no, we're very. I don't, and Mark will sometimes he'll bring Colombian coffee with him, but that's about as close as we get to like the smoking on the field or anything.
But we all know who the best kicker was at keeping himself in peak physical shape, and it was Sebastian Janikowski. We all know it.
Growing up is always like I was either in like amazing shape or fat. Like I've never been anywhere in between. And just like when I was a chubby kid and they drafted, I'm like, wow, a kicker I could actually wear his real jersey. This is great. I love Seabass, man.
He finished out his career with my beloved Seattle Seahawks, and when he put on the Seahawks uniform for the first time and got out on the field, it looked, the particular uniform that they got for him, it looked like they went to Target and were like, all right, we got to get a uniform for him, and they put it on. It looked like this uniform was meant for a teenager, and they shoved Sebastian Janikowski in it. It was awesome.
He's had a journey, man.
He can still
like an overstuffed sausage in a casing.
Hands are all turning red because he got no circulation. Oh yeah.
All right, so I got one more Firebirds related question, then we can move on to other sports. So how can people get involved with the Firebirds in terms of buying tickets, going to an appearance? Where can the people find? What is it? Website, social media? Where can you point them to?
Yeah, we're well, of course, the website is firebirdsafl.com. That's got, everything's right there. I strongly recommend buying your tickets directly through us because you can avoid all the fees. We got a family 4-pack going right now, so it's 4 tickets, 4 $10 food vouchers, and a parking pass. It's $140. So you bring a family of 4 out. You got have a couple hot dogs, a couple sodas, park, and you do it all for $140. And then of course, like we're just always trying to find new and better ways to get people in. I know I can't say what it is yet, but for the second game, like obviously the first game, we're going to have a bunch of AFL, like Hall of Fame, like memory guys, the leagues are bringing into town for us. The second game, I am calling it Duso de Mayo. It's the 2nd of May, and I will celebrate accordingly, and I will make it easy for everyone else to do the same. So just know that I have plans. I was shocked. This is one of those few times that before we came on, I was joking that I could Ipe Mike Corda if I really, really wanted to. This is one of the few times that I went behind his back and did something anyway. He was like, "That sounds stupid. I don't like it." I was like, "Yeah, good plan." And I did it anyway. So if you won't love what I did for the May 2nd game, I may be former president of
Taking big swings, though. I like it.
It's got to be fun. Like, we're focusing, like, right now, we know we have 5 home games. It's looking like there's a really, really good chance we're going to end up with a 6th home game because of what's going on with Georgia, which don't ask me. I don't really know. I just get the details. The league doesn't love me. The league loves Mike. The league loves Damon. Like Damon Ware and Mike Corda, the league loves them. Jeff Levack, they call me when they can't get Mike or Damon on the phone. That's the only time I hear from the league. It's amazing. And it could be because of the jokes I made about the name of the Minnesota team. But listen, if the commissioner's wife owns a team,
I know what that name. I know what that name is. I know what that name is.
Don't call them the Minnesota Mills. All right, we've learned. I learned. Be taught. All right. I didn't even come up with it. I just repeated it. But no, there's a lot of fun to be had. Like I said, we could end with a 6th game. The talent is there. Get on board now. You're not gonna regret it. We just did our first batch of custom ordered fan jerseys. We're gonna be doing another batch. I'll announce that here. I didn't want to do them. I wanted to get the order out as fast as I could, so I cut it off, and then we'll pick it up again once I get this order in. So you'll be able to wear your own Firebirds fan jersey with your name on it. You get the Cardinal on the back, Dustin Diamond, which I don't do that.
Oh man, I guess I'm Screech now. I guess I'll just roll with it.
Right, maybe not that one. Maybe
Dustin Screech Henry. There we go.
No, oh man, that's bad. Hey, I got to roll with it, but
we gotta find you. Now I'm hangry.
Yeah. We gotta find you a Lisa.
Card show today. All right, Turtle. The guy got a card show today over at the Capitol Center. So there's a lot. Like they're gonna be everywhere, and we're actually gonna start doing. We have certain sponsors who are gracious enough to host the entire team for dinner throughout the season. So what we're going to do is we're going to let people know, so if it's like, Tuesday night and everybody's going to be under the orange roof, we'll put it out there. So if you want to come eat dinner with the Firebirds, obviously let them eat first because they're large men who work hard. You don't want to put your hands in their face while they're trying to eat, but
they'll put your hand off.
Right. You come back like, I only have 9 fingers, but I met Levack.
Where's the rest of my arm?
Right. Hot sauce on it. What do you think it is?
I went to the Conservatory and I got my arm chewed off by Levack.
You get a shirt for that. It's great. Hey. So we're working, and obviously whatever anybody, I remember the golden days. Where's this? Yeah, let me know and we'll see if I can make it happen again.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks for talking Firebirds football with us. I'm looking forward to being there on April 27th, 2 weeks from today. I'll be snapping photos on the sideline. Maybe I'll ask some questions at the post game for the podcast, and I'll definitely reach out to you if I want to have something. Have you on again to talk Firebirds? We'll see if we can get Coach Ware and some of the players on the show just to talk some Firebirds football. It'll be an honor to have them on.
They'd love to. They're good guys, all of them.
Yeah, they're for sure. So we're going to move on from Firebirds football. We're going to talk about Major League Baseball, but first we got to give you our Backstop Mendoza Line Challenge update. Levack, I want to fill you in on this challenge that Dustin and I were doing. Last year we did what was called the Battle of the Bryans, and we did kind of a triple crown race between Brian Reynolds and Brian Anderson.
For the record, I knew I was taking the losing horse with Brian Anderson, but I did it for the show.
You didn't give him give him some cushioning to make it work. Or?
No, I just said straight up. We bet coffee, so it's not too bad. Not too bad.
No, back of coffee. So here's the update. For my side, Ryan Jeffers is hitting 120 as of yesterday. This is as of yesterday. The batting average is as of yesterday. Ryan Jeffers is hitting 120. Luke Maley of the Cincinnati Reds is hitting 118. However, one of my picks, Gabriel Moreno of the Arizona Diamondbacks, decided to hit 300 in the last 7 games and is now hitting 250. So he's done. He's eliminated from the Mendoza line challenge, the backstop Mendoza line challenge. and basically what it is that we took 3 catchers and we're monitoring their batting average throughout the season to see if they stay under the Mendoza line for however long they stay under. So we picked 3 catchers. We have 1 auxiliary catcher in case one of our catchers goes and is injured or gets sent down in the minors or gets DFA'd. So those are the 3.
Keep them all under, or is the goal to get them to go over?
No, the goal is to keep them under.
Yeah, whoever's catcher goes under for the longest or takes the longest to go over it, they win the challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I think I got the real MVP for me because of Ryan. Go ahead and finish your updates, but Christian Betancourt, he might win this thing for me.
So here's Dustin's side. Dustin's side is Christian Betancourt from
the Marlins.
The Marlins, yes. He is currently hitting .000. There's no hits. It's easy. As of yesterday's update.
How many at bats? That's insane.
You know what? I'll look. I have MLB.com open, so I'll look it up.
You think he would just fall the first at some point? Just
when I quote unquote drafted him, it was 16 at bats at the time that he was hitting 0.00, but it's got to be more now.
That's solid. You're good. I think you're safe.
He is 0 for 19.
0 for 19. All right. Oh man.
And I believe we have a wild Ghazi Bear and Ghazi Cub in the green room right now. I see a little ear.
Yeah, he texted me something. I go, "Where are you?" He goes, "I never got the link." I go, "You don't check your email?" Found it.
Man.
So Christian Betancourt is hitting 0 for 19 currently. Martin Maldonado of Tampa Bay, that's who I meant to say, is hitting .087.
Jeez.
And Jake Rogers of the Detroit Tigers is hitting a very stout 130. So there is your backstop. So it's like a survivor pool for underachievers.
It's like you don't want any of them to survive. Basically, you don't want ever just all of you stay under the line. It's a limbo contest.
For sure. All right, so we're gonna talk about some Major League Baseball musings, but we're gonna bring in another one of our guests. He is the program director at iHeart Media in Albany for WGY and WOFX. He's also another good buddy of mine. Tom Goslowski.
Shut up on time. I'm just saying.
Ghazi Bear.
I am so sorry, Ryan. I'm so sorry to you guys. I have never missed a podcast hit, as you know from the show. You've paid me to be on this podcast. I was waiting for the text. I did not check my email. I'm sorry. Here I am taking my hat off. And
guys, as a punishment, I read your text to me this morning. I was like, he may not be here because Rex had a huge poopy.
Things have been going on in the Goslowski house. I'll show you what's happening right now. These two are, I don't know what, being brothers. Okay, careful. That's a German suplex he's lining up for right now.
Oh. Say the name.
Oh, no.
Say the name.
The life is good here at the Goslowski house on a Saturday morning.
Gunther Jr. over there is going for a German suplex appropriately enough.
He's lighter now.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, I forgot to show you before we go into Major League Baseball musings. I have to show why how Todd McCloskey can learn from one Kevin Harlan of how to do an appropriate job of play-by-play. So I'll go ahead and show that. He's breaking down the cleaning up of a chicken wing thrown on the court at an NBA game.
I love this.
Driving into Murray. Somebody's throwing something on the floor. 46 seconds to go and a whistle blew. It's a chicken wing. Why would someone throw something that good out on the floor? It's crispy. It's warm.
Yes.
And I almost had to go out and I'm so hungry.
I hear your stomach over here growling.
What's that guy? I hope he eats it.
Dude, he is the best. Like
I'm shocked. Yeah, he is. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT of play-by-play.
Unflappable. What was it? 4 years ago, we were in Miami for the Super Bowl. He sits down across from us. We're having a blast. Like I can't breathe. I'm laughing so hard at the stuff he's saying. We proceeded to tell him there was a cat fight in the alcove in front of our Airbnb. He then begins to break down Mr. Mittens with a big ride on the fluffy, and like I was dying. You can't flap that guy. He's unflappable.
The pipes, the voice, it's so good. No matter what he says, read the encyclopedia would be great.
The best call I think he had was the guy streaking at the Tampa Bay Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Like, what are you doing, man? Pull up your pants. You're on national television.
I think he said he got in trouble for one of those. He's like not supposed to, like somebody sued him or something. Like he's not supposed to do like the actual play-by-play of the people now. It's like cats and everything are fine until Mr. Whiskers finds a way to sue him. He's fine.
Yeah, he I said I agree with you guys. He's number one in my announcer power rankings, which we'll probably do at some point on the show. But it doesn't matter what he's calling. Football, NBA, he brings a passion to it.
Yeah, I'll give you an early breakdown. It's Kevin Harlan, Gus Johnson, Todd McCloskey, somewhere near the bottom, Spiro Dides of CBS Sports.
That's right. He's all the way at the bottom for me.
Yeah.
I got to give my guys Jason Benetti and Kevin Brown some loves on that list too. Benetti, a.k.a. that guy with glasses with Bill Walton, who's not Dave Pasch. We all know Kevin Brown's issue with the graphics in the Orioles last year. So that's my power ranking. Those two at the top.
Well, the Angelos family is no longer there, so they can't punish him anymore. It can't hurt Kevin Brown anymore, and Orioles fans for that matter.
I wonder if once when Goz is on the NFL Network for the Firebirds, if they'll be able to put Tom Goslowski instead of Todd McCloskey. I wonder if they'll be able to get it right.
Did I ever tell you about how that came to be? So I was at the gym, and this is when Goz was in between, and he was at Channel 6 doing something for Saratoga. It was the first day at Saratoga racetrack opening, and I was watching the closed caption. It's like, oh, Goz is reporting, cool. I'm just watching the closed captioning, and all of a sudden it says, "This is Todd McCloskey, CBS News." Tom Goslowski.
It's like there's some person somewhere is like nailed it. I just got that right. That was tough for him. I'm so good at my job.
If I'm not mistaken, too, the secret behind closed captioning is that the news department writes it for closed captioning. So, like, a script from a producer is submitted, and it was wrong. So somebody at CBS 6 thinks that's my name to this day still.
Oh, you weren't there very long.
Todd McCloskey sounds like an owner, a member of the ownership group of like the Chicago White Sox or something.
Yes.
The Bears.
Todd McCloskey and McCloskey Hardware, part owner of the Chicago Bears, and we both know to letting girls into ownership.
No girls allowed. But then
by the way, we'd like to have it stricken from all records that Bear is also a hairy gay guy. We think right. And if you guys go for that, I'll give you 2-for-1 breaks over at McCloskey's. All right.
Yeah. So then I would be at Albany Empire games when Goz was doing play-by-play and or color commentary. And while I was taking pictures, I'd always sneak in the chat on the YouTube chat when they were broadcasting on YouTube and say Todd McCloskey facts. Like Todd McCloskey once took a shotgun to the face and survived. And he healed himself with like mineral oil and silly putty. I can't do that with NFL Network now.
No.
Try. See what happens.
I'll try. I'll hack in somehow.
It's NFL Plus. Anything goes, I was told. Is that not true?
No one told you that. No one said
I
that.
do have a subscription to NFL Plus. So,
All right, I gotta go because there's something wrong with my microphone. I must be in this.
all of a sudden it goes to fuzz.
They already hate me, guys. Don't make it worse.
That's all right. Nobody from the league is watching this. All right, so
Stitches everywhere.
yeah, we're gonna move on to late baseball. Talk about some early impressions of the baseball season because it's still freaking April. But talk about baseball. Talk about the AL East, the AL East, and the AL West. Are they turning into a much closer division race than everyone thinks it's going to be? And Goz, I'll talk to Wandering Goz first. Wandering Goz, let's start with you in regards to the AL East and the AL West.
I'll start with the West first. The A's, I don't know if it's just the roster. I don't know if it's Sears, the pitcher. Somehow the West, which felt like it was going to be far less competitive than the East, is good. I don't know if, I don't want to use the classic John Sterling, that's baseball, Susan, to describe the Angels, but God, that feels like the best way to describe the Angels, where Trout is just smashing solo home runs. The team roster stinks, and you're like, I don't know how they're winning. There was a stat where they had the highest ERA and the lowest batting percentage, and they were leading the AL West 5 days ago. In the entire league. How? So I don't know if that's luck. So I would say of those two divisions you offered, the West seems to be separating probably 2 months from now to the Rangers at the top, and then the Astros and the Mariners fighting for the East. It was the best division in baseball last year. I know the NL West could probably make an argument, but the Red Sox are actually pretty good. Like the pitching, even though most even like diehard Sox fans couldn't name 3 pitchers on the roster, the most popular player was nicknamed Rafael Devours in the offseason because he got fat in camp. Like, that's about all the Red Sox had. The Orioles got young talent. It was a great series with the Sox. The Yankees are playing well, as I'm sure Levack will remind us. The Blue Jays have some good pieces, but they don't know probably what they're going to do at the deadline. And the Rays, same thing every year. They find prospects. So, yes, I'm surprised they're both competitive, but I'd say the East more likely to be competitive in June and July than the West.
By the way, I gotta say, how awesome is it that the Houston Astros are starting off this badly?
Great. It's amazing what happens when people catch you cheating. It's amazing. Sooner or later, things kind of regress back to you being a piece of poutine.
I mean, they did lose. Look, they lost Correa. They lost Correa, Springer, Cole, Verlander. They've lost a ton of talent.
They lose them. They know where they are. They just don't play for them anymore.
Well, Verlander's somewhere rehabbing in AAA right now with the Space City Mosquitoes, or whatever they're called. Space Cowboys.
Is that what they're called?
I don't know. It's Space City something.
Well, it's also all trash cans were removed from the Astros stadium. Right. So that's what happened.
They went strictly Rubbermaid. It was a lot. Yeah. It's not as loud anymore. What's Verlander's wife's name? That's all I would be doing.
Okay, Dustin.
Yeah, she won't.
Oh yeah.
She gotta stop calling me, by the way.
It's funny. The phone stops ringing after you wake up. Listen, there's only one story in Major League Baseball, and that's that the dynasty's back. The evil empire is back. The Yankee universe is where it belongs, atop the baseball world.
Dun, 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 dun. All right. I'll just stop because of trademark.
Yeah.
I want to be clear. Listen, I think Baltimore, you had a good start. You've already reached out like desperately to your farm system, and they failed. The kid's terrible. Second generation player, played like poop. It's like, oh, desperate. We got to do something. What are we going to do? We can't keep with the Yankees. Let's bring up that Holiday kid and hope. And it just, well, maybe you sold some jerseys. Good for you. But, listen, it's just the Yankees are going to keep winning. Sox are going to fall on their face. Orioles will go back to being trash like they are. Tampa Bay will somehow end up with 90 wins. That's what always happens. And Yankees will win a World Series. That's the last time they started 10-2. That's 3 times. World Series trips. Sadly didn't win 03, but they'll win in 24. That's all there is to it. There it is.
But so I looked it up in the Houston Astros AAA affiliate is the Sugarland Space Cowboys.
Wow.
There you go.
While the no credentials,
formerly known as the Skeeters.
Yeah. While the no credentials required staff is looking through stats, as much as I'd like to defend Jackson Holiday as the number one prospect in baseball, I read a stat today that his OPS is minus 100, which I didn't think that's how. Which also revealed to me that it's the lowest in the history of Major League Baseball ever, in the history of pro baseball. I don't know if that's a real stat. So at some point, can someone, if the no credentials required, that's not good if the number one prospect in baseball has the lowest OPS in recorded stats ever.
That math is above our pay grade, guys. It's way above our pay grade of 69 cents, which is the podcast I give to both of you. So
that's so Baltimore. That's just so hilarious. And we have the greatest baseball player ever coming up. Wait, he sucks worse than anyone ever has before, ever? Oh, we have barbecue sandwiches in right field.
I will say, though, Colton Cowser is mashing, though, for the Orioles to start out here. We'll have to see if
made up name and you know it.
We'll have to see if he can keep it up. But I am concerned as a Yankee fan because they've had an amazing start. The offense is humming. And I just feel as more of a pessimist than an optimist. I skew that way in life. I feel eventually the offense is going to come back down a little bit. And my concern is, can the pitching hold up until Garrett Cole returns? And I hope he returns. But right now, I couldn't be happier with the way they look. And yeah, you guys are right about Tampa Bay. They'll find a way to be good. They always do. Lately, they're far removed from their atrocious Devil Ray history. They're way past that now. And the Blue Jays, I don't know what to make of this team because the offense started out, they were kind of scuffling. They have talent. I'll never believe in Jose Barrios again. I've done it too many times. So it's just...
Was he on your fantasy roster?
He was last year. Not this year. He did not make the Chief Nakahoma squad. So, oh, that name. Yes, that was a 1970s Atlanta Braves mascot. I can't believe that was real. but
I can't believe how negative you are about a 10-3 start for the Yankees.
I'm not angry. I'm very happy. I just feel like because this always happens. The offense, we know what we have offensively for the New York Yankees, but pitching has always been their problem over the last few years. Something always happens. We bring in Frankie Montas. He never pitches for the Yankees. We bring in Sonny Gray, struggles, goes somewhere else, pitches awesome. It's just, like
the walking corpse of Lance Lynn.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Did you see him the other day? He got all fat now, and somebody tried to butt on him. And he was ticked off. That was great.
Was he training with? I got a question about
people bunt.
Look, I got a question about these baseball players who've been kind of gaining weight. Have they been training with Pablo Sandoval? Is that why they're getting a little bit chunky?
It's Bartolo Colon. He is training them, all of them.
I mean, that is the dream, is to be the pitcher who is so good, yet not quite good enough. Like, you're so good that everybody wants you on the roster, but you're not good enough that you get the pressure of being an ace. So you get to be fat. Everyone loves you. You're just dropping fart bombs every fastball, like second and short, or like, can we shift? And it's like, no, the shift's out of the game. No, seriously, want to shift up win?
Don't stand down, win from Bartolo on the other mound.
Everyone loves you. That's the way to live. Everyone's trying to be Bartolo Colon, and it's just you just can't do it. It's special because again, look at Giancarlo Stanton. This guy is cut out of stone. Looks like a Greek god. Everyone hates him. Bartolo Colon waddles into to Citi Field. Everybody's like, oh!
If you haven't seen the cut yet of Ozzie Guillen on Major League Baseball Network talking about what you just mentioned, Ryan, about why are all these injuries happening, Ozzie Guillen suggested that get fat. He said, look, it's just simple science. If you have more muscle, there's more muscle to pull. I don't remember guys pulling muscles when they were fat. I'd watch them drink 5 or 6 Budweisers, eat chicken, and smash a home run. That's a real quote from Ozzie Guillen.
Wade Boggs allegedly smashed, I think, what was it, 46 beers on a flight from Boston to Seattle and ate 4 fried chickens.
He drank his hair off.
Yeah, went up going like 4 for 4 for 5 against the Mariners the next day.
That's like legendary Americana right there. You know what I mean? Like Paul Bunyan wasn't like, taking Tai Bo classes. He was cutting down trees, chugging reservoirs, and hanging out with a giant blue ox. These fit people, need to calm down. I like the old school, like when you would see like a black and white movie and the tough guy, the bad guy walks in and he's fat as me. And they're like, oh no, here comes, Bluto, or what? It's like, these Conor McGregor bad guys, like no fat out there. That's why they're all going crazy too. I'm telling you right now, Antonio Brown was fat. He's normal.
But it is.
And what the Wade Boggs challenge is 107 beers on a cross country flight.
Oh my God!
How long?
And they memorialized 107 beers.
I'm just saying, like, if I had enough time, I could do it.
Oh man, I'd be dead.
See, because you're skinny. How dare you?
Ryan, old Screech is not making it through this one. Screech. But I will say my favorite.
Screech died on the Screech died in the layover.
Yeah. One of my favorite spring training. I remember CC came back. CC Sabathia came back like significantly skinnier than he had been, and they're like, "Oh, what did you change? Have you been working out more?" And he's like, "No, I just stopped eating Captain Crunch." And I was like, "How much Captain Crunch were you eating?" Because as a fellow lover of cereal, I can put it down. But like that, it was they asked him, they're like, "What did you change in the off season?" He's like, "No more Captain Crunch." I
remember he wasn't as good. And everybody was like, "Get fat again," and he put on some more weight, and he was fine. He was,
he was good. Yeah,
yeah. It's probably better that he not eat Captain Crunch anyway because it cuts your mouth.
That's lies. That's salacious lies, and I'm not going to stand for it.
Why are you suing Count Chocula? Because that son of a bitch always says I cut the inside of kids' mouths.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a Family Guy. It's a Family Guy joke.
Brian's childhood was.
It's a Family Guy joke.
Cheerios. There's no edges.
I had Cheerios this morning.
All right. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna talk some random sports news around, which I call This Week in Sports Ball. So we'll be back in just a moment. You're tuned in to No Credentials Required. This episode of No Credentials Required is brought to you by Invader Coffee. For the coffee lover who wants good, quality coffee with no bullshit and no filler, Invader Coffee is an ultra-premium, veteran-owned coffee company proudly delivering only the best coffee your hard-earned money can buy. They aim to only serve the highest quality, organic, air-roasted coffee beans sourced from free trade farms all over the world. They keep things simple. The best coffee at an affordable price in order to provide you with the value you deserve for your morning boost. 100% fair trade, 100% organic coffee beans, 100% air-roasted, 100% money-back guarantee. Visit invadercoffee.com, enter promo code BELLYUP at checkout, and receive 15% off your order. Wow, as we're getting an extreme close-up of Goss's face, let me talk to you about Invader Coffee.
I was trying
He's trying to smell it.
Invader Coffee. Delicious.
Don't we get coffee for being on the show? Shouldn't my pantry be invaded by Invader Coffee now?
Yes, it should. And you can go to the affiliate link in the description on our YouTube page and buy yourself some coffee and get 15% off with promo code BELLYUP at checkout.
I have to buy it? I'm a guest. This should be sent to me.
Promo code BELLYUP.
Yeah, come on.
All right, 15% off. All right. You got
69%.
in addition to the 69 cents I'm giving you for your podcast fee, I'll get you guys a bag of Invader Coffee each as well. So
I like that when
Goz coffee that goes
his thing cuts and it almost looks like people are cutting him off the show. Goz goes 69%. The thing goes away.
So if you love
coffee, don't find you funny.
But if you want to get yourself some veteran veteran-owned coffee company, support your veterans. Do you hate veterans? Do you hate your country? Of course you don't. Get yourself some Invader Coffee, and it gets the No Credentials Required seal of approval.
Wow, look at that thing.
That's Puppers. Puppers is seal.
Let me get a whiff of that too.
Smell-o-vision on no credentials required.
Yeah, Cuppers hasn't gone in the ocean for a while. He feels like a wet gym bag. Jeez.
When I'm doing the show alone on Monday, and I have to say, yeah, so Goz was caught sniffing seals. Yes, like he doesn't understand why we haven't had Jerry McNamara on the show yet. He literally, like, the first time we talked about it, he's like, "Can I sniff him?" Why are you smelling everything?
I was helping Ryan and no credentials required. I thought, if anything, I was doing a service, if anything. I didn't even hear "you're welcome," by the way. I don't want to, But...
You mean thank you? We have gone off the rails.
But
all right,
hold together.
But I was going to make Goz's face, like the close up of his face, as the podcast cover for the Saturday Brunch edition of the show.
Perfect.
Yes,
perfect. He's smelling that brunch cooking up.
It is Saturday Brunch edition with Goz's face. All right, this week in sports ball, we're going to talk briefly about some of the sports news of the week. And I know Levack, you said that it's probably the last time you'll talk about it on Thursday's show, but we got to talk about it because we haven't talked about it. The death of O.J. Simpson. From what I understand, cancer is looking for the real killer.
Found him.
I think we found him. But Dustin, I want to get your thoughts on this news that came out on Thursday morning. Give me your thoughts about this. About O.J. Simpson and his life, and I don't know, just thoughts.
This is a complicated thing for me because I've always been passionate about music, right? And to me, this is an example of, can you separate the art from the artist? Michael Jackson, we all know what's out there about him. We all know what he was accused of. But for me, that's a case where I can still separate the art from the artist. I will put on Bad. I will put on Thriller. I will put on Dangerous. And I'll be like, you know what? These songs are still good. But OJ is another matter for me. OJ, yes, he was a great football player, undeniable running back. We all know this, but it is hard for me to find sadness for Mr. O.J. Simpson, because whether you feel that he did what he was accused of or not and tried for, he was convicted in the civil trial, by the way. He also wrote a book called If I Did It. Very tasteless, in my opinion. He struggled in his post-football career. So, I have been laughing at all the jokes that have been made. Maybe I'm a terrible person for doing that. Condolences to his family. But yeah, I can't separate the art from the artist when it comes to O.J. Simpson. His accomplishments on the football field, fantastic. Off the field, something else entirely. The writing of that book, side note too, I've gone into the O.J. Simpson case rabbit hole one too many times, but one of the things when O.J. wrote that book, he supposedly was doing it because he owed the Goldmans and Nicole Brown's family some money. So he was like, oh, I'll write this book. And it was If I Did It. And he laid out how he would have done it if he did it. The Goldmans had creative control over the cover of that book.
Yeah.
They made the if microscopic and they put it in the middle of the eye and it just says, I did it. Genius. Genius on the Goldman's part for that one. So yeah, complicated feelings surrounding O.J. Simpson's passing. Condolences to his family, but I'm having trouble separating the art from the artist on this one.
Yeah, I mean, if you watched that 5-part miniseries or docuseries, OJ Made in America, which is a great docuseries. It's one of the best docuseries I've seen.
I gotta watch it again. You gotta watch it again and again. Guys is always talking about watching that stupid thing. Oh, no more OJ.
your feelings on that are like my feelings of King Richard. All right, I hated that movie so much. I wanted to slap Will Smith for making that movie.
Careful.
Still better than Moneyball. I said it.
What is it? 107 beers on a cross country flight? That's what I got to do?
Wade Boggs, 107.
So here's
like 4 fried chickens and a Coke.
Here's how I feel about O.J. Simpson. If I couldn't get arrested for it, I would drink the 107 beers while flying to his grave, and then I would relieve all of them on his grave. It's just he ruined the country, man. Like he's a murderer. Like I'll watch the football, yeah, sure. Like he was a hell of a running back. It's like, you know, I heard a guy call into a couple sports talk shows down in the city, and he was like the same guy. I tried to call into a bunch of them. Somebody sent it to me, and it was
it Corey and Greenwich?
It was no, I don't even think Corey's this bad. And it was pretty much like basically like, well, we need to remember that he was a running back. He was a great running back, and what that meant to the. I'm like, I wanted somebody to be like, yeah, and Hitler painted. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Guy's a scumbag. I'm glad he's dead. I wish he had died before he had the knife in his hand.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Dustin said. You got to separate the art from the artist. Great football player, hilarious comedic actor. Naked Gun series.
Hertz commercials.
Hertz commercials. NBC Sports, NBC NFL and NBC coverage. All the sideline reporting he did, and being in the studio.
Well, it's yours truly. Made me laugh every time.
However, away from that, off camera, garbage human being.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Completely. Yeah.
Hot garbage.
I would say irredeemable because I don't think anyone's irredeemable. But if there was one person who was irredeemable, it was that guy. It was O.J. Simpson. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's just so complicated. It's complicated to say what. Yeah, he's all these great things, but I mean, not only once but twice going to jail. Remember, he also held up somebody, and he also held up a guy in Vegas.
The memorabilia.
For taking his memorabilia and selling it. Don't forget about that. He spent time in the clink for that as well.
Yeah. Not, and he got away with it. You know, he got away with it unjustly, terribly. No love loss for one O.J. Simpson.
Based on a clerical error and a loaded jury.
Yeah.
I don't mean to derail the conversation just because everyone's answers were fantastic. Can I go back to the King Richard take by Ryan?
Sure.
I mean, host your show, but I just have to say this about King Richard. So my first son was born in 2020. So I've gone like a good 4 years with maybe seeing 3 movies at full length, like start to finish in one sitting. King Richard was the first. And at that point, it had been like a year and a half, I think, if my math adds up right on there. Why don't you like it? Am I holding it at a high level because I got to watch a movie and I'm like, whole movie, wow! Like maybe my view of the movies. Can I get your King Richard take?
Yeah, well. First of all, I want to point you back to last summer when we did our series "No Ticket Required." Ding, which will return this summer as well. We're going to review 7 movies throughout the summer and go through it and do our rankings.
Any erotic films?
Sorry.
Any erotic films will be in it.
Those are reviewed separately. Those are, you know, we.
Yeah,
I really believe
those are behind the paywall.
Like I was like, wow, he really wants to bring that pizza. That's wow. Great job by Johnny Big Nuts. That was amazing.
I will be tuned we're that edition. But I'm sorry, Ryan. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna review John Wayne Bobbitt's two prawn films. Those will be behind the paywall at no credentials required, coming soon to our Patreon page, whenever I get it set up. But no, the 2 reasons why I hated that movie. A was the length. It was way too long. It should have been shorter. You could have cut it by like a half hour. And 2, Will Smith's vacillation of his accent throughout the movie was just I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it. And somehow he won the best actor in the Oscars that year, the next year. I don't understand. This was even after he slapped Chris Rock.
But Ryan, who's the MVP of that movie? There's one answer.
Can of corn.
That's
Can
right.
Of corn.
That's right. John Bernthal as the tennis coach.
Still waiting for you to dress up in that costume, by the way, with the mustache and the wig.
Hey man, those are some short shorts. I don't know if I could do that. That's like past John Stockton levels. I don't think I can
Also
handle
behind the paywall.
it.
Yes, also behind our paywall, but on our Patreon page coming soon, or maybe
Yeah,
never.
a whole new segment called Dustin's Diamonds.
Oh, man. We have to do it now. The name's too good. The name's too good.
Dustin's time.
And I can extol the virtue. This one's a little underground. Not a lot of people know this, but it's a 2007 classic.
Oh, I can't wait for that this summer.
I'm sorry, you
Yeah,
guys
so,
are talking about you guys are like Emmy and Oscar award winning and all this other stuff. I found myself falling down the rabbit hole of some guy he's on like one of those. It's like one of those chat roulette type sites, and he's using a Kermit bucket, and he keeps showing a cucumber. I can't. Everyone's reaction is great. Like, BGE, man.
Yeah, I'll send you. I'll text you guys. I'll text you guys which movies we're reviewing this summer. I'll also send you the links for our reviews from last summer as well. So,
okay.
So you
is
can,
there anything
you can
about
join us.
Junk or
Not Kermit. Not Kermit.
About
Or Pickle Rick.
those, by the way.
keep your links.
There's an underground film about Kermit the Frog that says it's very easy being green. So that's a different genre. Different.
I'm here.
I'm here.
You've soiled this show, Ryan. Disgust me.
Speaking of,
Saturday morning show. I can't hear in the other room. What have you done to this thing?
It all went downhill when you tried to snip that seal. What are you talking about?
right?
It's R.I.P. OJ. There you go.
Speaking of Muppets, have you heard from Jan from Sweden yet, or no?
No,
Or is that
that's-
Swedish catfish?
Just that second one I got from like Elita or whatever it was. Yeah, no. We are definitely the highest ranked Albany sports talk show in Sweden, though. We are.
That's good.
Turns out large fluffy gentlemen are a big deal over there. Keep them warm for those Swedish winter nights, you know.
Coming
always
soon, I'm I'm taking my talents to Sweden since I'm a big fluffy guy. I'm taking my talents to Sweden. Any Swedish ladies out there?
You know how like they have the tourist bureau? It's I Love New York. It's like it's always cuffing season in Sweden.
So the next, so I've been told. The next item on this week in sports ball, the Arizona Coyotes may be definitely now. It was speculation early in the week that they may they made two separate schedules. The NHL made two separate schedules for next year. One in Tempe at the 5,000 seat Mullet Arena, and the other in Salt Lake City, Utah. Yesterday, there's news coming out that players have been told that the franchise will relocate to Salt Lake City next year. Have we finally ended Gary Bettman's great white whale chase of keeping the Coyotes in Phoenix?
If you guys don't mind, I'm going to go first on this one and say the setup to that, I understand what you mean about he's done everything he can for that. The great white whale, I think I would sum it up to more like a minnow of Arizona. Like, I don't know if it's Toronto or Canada or any, like they tried. Look at the Coyote logo. Like if nothing screams X Games, Dippin' Dots of the future, it's the old 90s Coyotes logo where it's like, we thought it would work. It didn't. We thought Dippin' Dots would be ice cream of the future. It's not. We thought every kid would be doing skateboards, and they sold us that the X Games would be the future. They're not. Like they tried 30. Let's move on. That's how I view the Coyotes. It's very much the X Games and Dippin' Dots of hockey. The logo looks like the mid-90s. They tried. It didn't work. The minnow was cast. It didn't turn into the profit they had hoped. And just like them, I have to move on like the Coyotes. Guys, I got to jump. I'm sorry. I'm the worst, but that's my take on the Coyotes.
Wow, he comes in late and he leaves early. That's typical Tommy.
He's our
Corbett.
lifeboat. Last in, first out.
That was a hot take, by the way. I left you with. Think about that one later on.
Good. Actually, I was good. I was proud of it. I second what he said. I had no idea. So that's what he said.
All right. Well, Levack, I know you guys don't really talk about a whole lot of hockey unless the Rangers are doing good.
Which
But
means we're talking a lot of hockey right now, baby.
Yeah.
yeah, great. But
Oh, maybe Rempy. Wow. You want a little Rempy? You want a little Rempy? Huh? You want a little Rempy?
you mean you mean the dollar store Zdeno Chara? Is that what you mean?
Whoa, man.
I mean,
Ooh.
high priced Jeff Bukaboom. I mean, some classic Ranger goonery, my friend.
How do you guys have any takes on this Phoenix Coyotes situation? Or
I'll just say real quick, I was a little shocked because I swear the other day, now I scroll through Instagram too much, waste too much time on it, too many recipes to save and lots of other things. But I swore I saw like a proposal for a new sports complex in Phoenix. And like the Coyotes were supposed to be a part of it. And now it looks like this move to Salt Lake is like definite. So I don't know what the heck's going on. But I do support Gaz's take about the Coyotes logo because I was looking for an excuse to throw in the most 90s video game character of all time, Sonic the Hedgehog. They tried to make him look super 90s, and his favorite food is chili dogs, right? But so he kind of fits the vibe, I think, of what Gaz was talking about there. But I'm just shocked about this. I had like no idea. I was surprised to read it yesterday.
I
really
only care if they play the Rangers. So
yeah.
Well, the Phoenix version won't play them anytime soon. I'm pretty sure the Salt Lake version will play them soon. I wrote an article last May after the measure, and apparently,
sorry, your microphone went full Aborigine right there. It was like
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I might have to replace this. I'm gonna have to replace this microphone. But I wrote an article last year about how the Phoenix Coyotes put them to sleep. It's over. It's over. And hopefully, thankfully, this long overdue relocation, this franchise it's been failing since it moved to Arizona back in 1990 after the 1996 season when they were the Winnipeg Jets, the OG Winnipeg Jets.
Yes. And
they've been trying for the last almost 30 years now to do something, put it in place. They went to an arena that was not built for hockey. Then they moved to Glendale. They got kicked out of Glendale. Now they're playing in a 5,000. They're playing basically in an ECHL arena. All right, 5,000 seat arena meant for college hockey. And now they're moving to some place where there can be where I'm hoping they can build a good fan base. I mean, Utah, they go crazy for their Jazz. I mean, the Utah Jazz is huge out there. And now they're possibly getting an NHL team starting next year. So I'm hopeful that this franchise can actually build a fan base that's going to stay and be supportive of this team. And they should have done it last year. And if they're doing it after this year, good for them. Good for Gary Bettman finally accepting fate that, yeah, this Coyotes experiment has failed in Arizona. Time to move on.
Yeah, the only person I can think of that said he was going to a lot of Coyotes games is Mike Golick, because I think he lives in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. And he was like, I go to a lot of the games, the fans are there, and I'm like, I don't know about that. You know? But Gary Bettman always wanted a franchise there. I never understood it. I don't understand a lot of things about Gary Bettman.
It's about media market. That's what it is. The Phoenix metro area is the 7th largest U.S. media market. So that was basically what it's all about. But it just never had stable ownership. They've been banked. The NHL has taken over the franchise. I think at least once during their time there.
Yes,
and they've been able to find an arena to call it home. So,
well, and they tried to get number 99 as part of the ownership group, if I do remember. They tried to have Gretzky in there.
He also coached the team as well.
Yeah.
There's no rule in the NHL about being an owner and coach at the same time. So he was owner and coach of the team at that time. So they tried, they failed. It's time to move on. Time to face facts. Time to move on. I'm sorry, Phoenix. That's the breaks.
Yeah. Get out and take the Devils with you.
Hey, listen, I had to live through them almost moving to Nashville after the Stanley Cup in 1995. All right,
They should have.
My Oilers made the playoffs. Everybody.
Yeah, I got to root for somebody in the playoffs. Now the Devils that were eliminated this week. So
Come on over to Oiler country, Ryan. Come on over to Oiler country.
I may have to.
Yeah, we don't have any room for you here at the Rangers. We're good. Thanks.
Good. I didn't want to go there anyway. So last thing before we get out of here, I wanted to point out an article I found about Dan Hurley's recruitment. I read this.
I'm going to translate an article about Dan Hurley
from David.
Your mic went crazy again.
Oh my God. This mic. His outgoing recruit.
Oh man.
The title of the article says Dan Hurley parents. Now the article goes on to say,
I heard parents in there.
He's back.
Yeah, you're back. The article goes on to say, you said, I heard something about parents in there.
Yeah, the article goes on to say that there's measurable talents out there, measurable talents, height, speed, skill set, but he focuses primarily on the parents, and he primarily focuses on the background of the kid, like how stable their household is, how his parents, how the kid's parents are they in a two parent household, is it a stable household? Is this a good recruiting tool?
Well, I guess I'll just say I've never heard of that being factored in as much as he seems to be factoring it in. And to my preliminary reaction on it is he's either going to come out looking like a genius or people are going to be like, what the hell are you doing? You know, there's no in between with tackling something from an angle like that. But I don't know. I don't know enough about his history to know whether he was using this method and had success in previous stops, you know? So, but yeah, it's interesting to say the least. But like I said, in my opinion, there's one of two outcomes. This is either going to work very well or it's not going to work. But I think a kid's environment can translate to some of their personality makeup. Maybe basketball is an escape if their home situation's not too good. Maybe they have an extra drive if their parents haven't been as supportive as some have been. So I don't know. I guess there's some tangible there, but I think he's either playing 4D chess while the rest of us are playing checkers, or he's playing Parcheesi or something else completely different. So I don't know.
I mean, back-to-back championships.
Yeah, I mean, two national. That's what I was getting to. Back-to-back championship. Can't get me wrong. But he also says, have they played on 7 different travel teams? Have they transferred to 4 or 5 different high schools? When you talk to the parents in the recruiting process, are they constantly complaining about the coaches after a bad game? Got to do more, got to play harder. He's got to work on his skills. They tell on themselves. They drop hints. You put the wrong type of people around the inner circle of players, your program.
All right, I want to punch your microphone, but I think I understood. You're saying that do they move around more than do they focus on getting better? Is it? I think that this is the reason I like this, and maybe that's like you're saying, the 4D chess is because with the NIL, with the transfer portal, with the NBA draft, it's all looming over you all the time. Like it's hard enough for football coaches right now when you have to recruit new players and re-recruit your players. They can't go to the draft until after their junior year, where the NBA guys, like, that can come get you after your freshman year. So if I'm going to build a championship roster and I'm going to build the kind of men out of that I'm hoping to have, represent my program, I need to know there's a stability in them. I need to know that they're not going to jump just because somebody offers them a little bit more money. I need to know that they're not instantly looking to go to the NBA before they're ready to go to the NBA. I think it's cool. I think it, as part of your tools, it's a good idea. But to your point too, like, is this kid going to really, if I get him out of the bad situation, does he become a better kid, a better man? But I think as part of the evaluation process, makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, and forgive me, for some reason, because all I could think of with Dan Hurley, because didn't he turn down the Kentucky job as well?
Instantly, I laughed at it on the stand.
He turned it down because, I mean, why would you leave?
Right.
You just won back-to-back chips. The way that this has been laid out, and hearing you both talk about it, it's almost like he's the opposite of John Calipari. John Calipari specifically targeted the one and done kids, and obviously that hasn't worked for quite a while now in Kentucky. So, and Dan Hurley, like you said, you can't argue with success. My brain was not functioning at its highest capacity this morning. So,
well, you have your coffee. That's why.
Oh man, look at this. Look at this right here. Look at this mic. This thing is awesome.
About to snowball out because obviously the HyperX wasn't working, so it's might have to be replaced by something different. But I switched microphones. Hopefully, I'm sounding better.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of nice not hearing you either.
I want my 69 cents back.
Come and get it. I want my Invader coffee. Like you said, Dan Hurley. And the thing about Hurley I like too is he's known as one of those guys that can still yell at a player. You know what I mean? Like, I know probably people hear that statement like, you want to yell at people? You're absolutely freaking right. I want to yell at people, and I want people to yell at me. Like if I'm out of line, I want to hear it. I want to hear it now. Let's get it over with and move on. Like a lot of these kids, all we hear about, you yell at them once, they shut down or they transfer or they whatever. He has a relationship with his players where he can coach them. So whatever his makeup is to get there. And again, the number one thing I just keep thinking of is what you said. That's like, I would hate to think that he overlooks somebody who he could really help because their parents are split up or dad's a scumbag. Like if he sit down, have a talk with that kid, and if that kid's responsive to what you're saying and you believe in him, give him a run. But I again can't go against results in this NIL world where we've already seen Coach Carm get the boot and everything else. Like he seems to have adapted pretty well so far.
Yeah, it is a new world out there. I tell you, I would not want to be a coach at the collegiate level. And Ryan and I talked about it previously on previous shows. It's probably one of the biggest, if I had to guess, I'd say it's one of the biggest reasons that Nick Saban retired. And it's also a big reason that Bill Belichick, the whole transfer portal and everything else that's going on, you got Bill Belichick didn't take a job in college because who wants that? Who wants to have to deal with that?
Listen, the funniest thing ever would have been for Bill Belichick to take the Alabama job. That would have been the most hysterical thing
in the
history of ever. It would melt down the NCAA as we know it. Auburn fans would be crying foul. SEC would be crying foul, with the exception of Vanderbilt. I don't think they care because they're a bunch of nerds. But no, I mean, yeah, Nick Saban did say, I retired because I couldn't. And he went in front of Congress. I think he went in front of Congress and said, the NIL rules, they got to be changed because this is getting out of control. I think the transfer portal also makes things difficult to recruit too. I mean, I know Levack, I know he's a little bit mad at you right now, but Greg Cattuso was mentioning that the transfer portal kind of makes things difficult with recruiting. I mean, they lost Poppelberger to Miami, but they got a recruit from they got what's coming from Wisconsin who's going to be playing for the team this year. Who's going to be another team to watch this year, UAlbany. Yeah, come to support UAlbany. It's going to be a great team.
So listen, here's the deal, man. Like he was against it when we first started talking about it, but he's adapted to it. He and his staff have adapted really well. And it's, when you're FCS and you're combating, you're a top FCS, so you got to fight against both levels. you re-recruit your players, you're recruiting other players, and if your players transfer up, that's not bad for you. You just have to adapt to it. Like the fact that when we watched the first day of the NFL draft, Jared Verse is going. Like, former, Great Dane defensive back, turned defensive end, turned to, all-world defensive end for Florida State. Now he's going to be a top 15, 20 pick in the NFL draft. If I'm a kid who's a little undersized, or maybe I didn't get the love I wanted from, Michigan or whoever else, I look right at you, Albany. I go, that school's going to get me where I need to be. They're going to develop the heck out of me, and they're going to help me transfer because they're not going to get in my way.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
But it is a little too Wild West. I would like to see it like you transfer like once without reason. One free transfer, and then after that, you got to show a reason.
Yeah, I will say this about Dan Hurley's recruiting methods. Are they controversial? Not kinda, I guess you could say. But are they unconventional? Yes. But are they effective? Is it effective? Absolutely. And back-to-back national championships, looking at a possible 3-peat next year. Can't be wrong. You can't be wrong. You got to look at the background and the situation of the kid before you actively recruit him. So, I mean, it's a really interesting read on Outkick. I'm not going to promote Outkick because it's a competitor, but it's a really good article. I think you should check it out. But it gets people talking. It got us talking.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. All right, but hey, listen, I got to pull a guys. I have a family thing I got to go take care of.
Tell the people where can they find you, Levack?
In all the worst places, but on Twitter, it's Jeff Levack. Of course, most importantly, I'd love if you went to firebirdsafl.com. Get your tickets for the Albany Firebirds, Forged in Fire. We are clown free since late 23. No Antonio Brown. Everybody I know, everybody's still like, are you sure? Is he gone? Yes, he's gone. We checked under the bed, checked the closet. There's no boogeyman. He gone. There's no business. It's all business now. But we're going to bring a championship home to you from the AFL again, and we'd love your support. So firebirdsafl.com, please.
All right. Well, thanks for being on, Levack. Well, this is Levack. We might as well close up too. Close up shop here. So a reminder about our social media channels down here below: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, NoCredsREQ, Facebook.com/NoCredsREQ, YouTube.com/@NoCredsREQ. Also find us on the podcast side, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, all those places. Give us a rating and a review. We might even read your review on the air. I'm starting to shut down myself. So thanks again.
We thought it was the mic. It was just you.
Yes. Autobot Ryan his voice is going in and out. Anyway, thanks for joining us. No credentials required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We're presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Gozilla Media. For Levack and Dustin Screech Henry, I'm Ryan McCarthy.
Sorry, Dustin.
We'll be back on Tuesday night talking all sorts of sports. So thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you on Tuesday.
Good morning, everybody.